Good afternoon. How are y'all doing? All right, so today we're going to talk about share some hot tips for employment based. It is December 13th on Wednesday. Good afternoon to you from Houston, Texas. And we have some great news. So I'll start off with that. And it's about waiver cases, applications. 601A. Hallelujah. My goodness, these cases were on the online USCIS processing times show 44 months for the 601A waiver. First of all, it shouldn't take 44 months, and not everyone actually has to wait 44 months to file a lawsuit. But we didn't, for one of our cases, I got two waiver cases that got approved. Okay. Just last week, actually. Um, I believe it was when I was in Dallas for court, and it was processing about 30 months or so, at least 3 years. So maybe 36 months. And thank goodness, one of them we did have to file a lawsuit. They weren't even our client to begin with, but they hired us to help file a lawsuit for that one. Unfortunately, that one did not have a motion to dismiss filed, so we didn't have to go through that. But we are fighting for other cases that have a six motion to dismiss that was filed. We responded back, so we're waiting for a judge to make a decision on that. But the other client that was 601A, we did not have to file a lawsuit for that. They toughed it out, and fortunately, didn't have to do it. All right, so I'm going to answer some questions towards the next after 5 more minutes. But I do want to share. So you're welcome to share your question, comment below, chat it below, down below. In the meantime, I'm going to share 3 hot tips for employment because a lot of people ask the questions: How do I get sponsored? Or if how can I sponsor an employee? Because the thing is, some of y'all wait till the wrong time to ask the question, right? Some of y'all think you could file some kind of employment-based a petition. Sometimes the government, well, not sometimes, oftentimes the government has a restriction on timing, specifically H-1B. But also, you can't just if like your current status is about to expire, let's say like a visitor visa, it doesn't work that way that you could just file another application on the spot and say, oh, does that mean I can stay here? Not necessarily. Okay, that's not really best practices because if that application is denied, then your unlawful presence goes back to a date that your original visa expired, right? So you just really better to work in advance to prepare with an attorney, whether it's us, our team at Ting Law Group, or another law firm. We're just here to share information, drop some knowledge, some nuggets here. So I guess I said that's already a tip, but tip number 1, okay? With H-1B registrations coming up in March, you might think, oh, it's December, no problem. I got plenty of time. You could have OPT right now, or you about to graduate in May, or maybe you're about to graduate this December, like next week or something from university. Early congrats to you. But you need to start being in the mode of looking for companies to sponsor you. I wish there was one website that can say, basically all these companies are open-minded to sponsor for national. We're working on something. We'll keep you updated. So for your company's HR or if you're an entrepreneur, stay tuned as well uh, because we're going to share some information next year about that. Um, but don't wait. Don't wait until March to try to find a company to sponsor you because the registration window is limited. It's only open for 2 weeks. So in some ways, it's kind of like similar to the diversity visa application window. Not as bad in terms of the delay in timing, but you need to find a company. And some people might ask, so for employee side, okay, if you're applying to a company, the employer usually asks us as a legal team, they ask, well, do I have to pay this person right now to sponsor them? No, you don't. That actually, in my opinion, doesn't make sense. But some people ask because you have to sponsor someone officially, get that person approved before even that person starts working for you in that position. Okay. So take your time to think about it. But that's why we're here to share that information. Okay. So it's peace of mind. All right. I think about registration H-1B. Not everyone's qualified for it. It requires a degree. Okay. If you're doing it based on bachelor's, it doesn't have to be a bachelor's degree in the United States and can be outside the United States. And you don't actually have to be here. So let's say you did go to college in US, but now you're back in your home country, been hanging out there, working there, maybe because you didn't weren't able to get registered before, you can get registered again, maybe through a different company that want to sponsor you. You do not have to be in the United States, okay? All right, second tip. Got a lot of tips all in one. But second tip here, folks, is that for employment based, okay, residency, a lot of companies or even employees contact us again, maybe a little bit, I wouldn't say too late, but it would be much better if you get the information beforehand. And that is the position, the job description, the minimum years of experience. It's basically what we call comparable experience test, essentially. So if the position that you're going to be sponsored in, most likely it's not going to be the same position you're working right now. But let's just call it like a data analyst, right? Junior level versus senior level. That could be fine, but let's say like the senior data analyst position requires 3 years experience, then you cannot have more than half of that experience in the same position or similar position with the same company. Okay. So that's why, folks, if you're, especially if you're HR or you have your own company, you really want to think about the future steps, positions to promote your team members in advance. Like what something I'm trying to work with on my own team is show them the roadmap of the next positions on our team that they could be promoted to, right? Sharing that because I'm all about retention. It's very, very important. So just something to think about, especially if you have your own company and you're considering to sponsor a foreign national. Okay. Um, the third tip, folks. Okay, there's a lot of tips I just shared. So, but yeah, again, you it's really about what I was. Yeah, it's another tip I really shared earlier is that let's say if you're about to graduate in May 2024, you can still get registered in March. Okay, the same year, 2024. And you might think, well, how is that possible? Because you haven't actually graduated yet. Because the actual deadline to file the immigration package to include the evidence of your degree and transcript is the end of June. Okay, so that would be after you walk the stage. Okay, so I don't know if I'll call. I'm sure it's still offered that way, but to walk the stage. But anyway, so those are three main tips. But you got more than that today. Now I'm happy to answer any questions. Um, I am on. There we go. All right. So if you have any questions and I'm not able to get to you, I apologize. Just because I'm going to be here live a little bit shorter than usual. Because if I don't get off live, my wife is not going to be happy with me. I got to get some stuff done and have a team meetings and work on cases. So let's see here. Probably on for another 5 to 10 minutes. Welcome to the show. Hey, bro, what kind of evidence do I need to apply for VAWA case? Can you explain? I can't go in full detail yet, or not yet, but it's just because I have limited time here. But it's really best you contact us. But essentially, people ask, do I need to have a police report? Do I need to have called 911? No, but it would be more advantageous in your case to do that, of course, but it does not require a police report. Okay. But it would certainly improve the percentages of your case being approved. Okay. Um, so hopefully that helps to get you started in terms of mindset. Okay. Because a lot of people think, oh, I'm not going to apply for VAWA because I don't have a police report. But please don't let that be a deterrence. Okay. Have plenty of clients that were able to file the application and get approved, even though don't have a police report. Okay. Let's see here. I'm in a different room, so I'm trying to figure out the logistics of my phone and the computer. All right, folks. If there's a mistake with your name on the I-589, can it be corrected? I believe you can do this on the USCIS website, uscis.gov, and click on Tools and Resources. And one of the options should be correction, but I believe that inquiry box is if like you got an identity card, like a green card or work permit in a different name. But somehow I would send in with a letter explaining what you updated on the 589 and mention that was already you already submitted it. Of course, provide a copy of the receipt notice with the updated 589. All right, so hopefully that works. Fortunately, we haven't had the issue because I love to believe we've done everything correctly in that sense in terms of the forms. I see some comments on YouTube, so I'll get to that soon. LMAO, what's up? How many months do you have to wait for the work permit after marriage? I mean, in general, in 2023, and you may have heard me say this, and maybe other attorneys mention that a lot of marriage cases, the interview is waived. It's not automatic for everyone. I've myself and my premier associates have gone to interviews for clients, but with that being said, sharing that context, I share that because you might get the green card before the work permit. So in general, but some clients still get the work permit before the green card. So that could take 3 to 5 months. Okay. But in general, even the whole entire case could be processed in 3 to 5 months. So it's not a black and white timing, but just want to share some real time experience here. Holy smokes. Slut, my Mas Lux. Your entire case been pending in Virginia for 17 months. You submit an inquiry and still nothing. I'm sorry to hear that. Sorry to hear that, but this is a scenario you definitely want to consider filing a lawsuit. Okay, we call it mandamus for unreasonable delay. So if you haven't heard of it, we have a lot of videos on it on our YouTube, TikTok, Facebook. You're welcome to check it out. Otherwise, of course, you're welcome to contact our office, which, by the way, folks, the best way to do that is on TikTok, at least, is follow up here or down below. Sometimes I think it'll pop up down below, and then DM us. Okay, especially if you're at work. I'm sure you don't want to make your supervisor mad. Um, but yeah, DM us later on, okay, for our contact info. TikTok's a bit strange. They don't want us to share it prominently. Otherwise, we could get banned. Your VAWA case. Oh, but if you're on YouTube, you see the number, Facebook and YouTube numbers up here, and you see this other website right here, so you can fill it out. Answer a few questions, and our CARES team specialist will contact you typically within 24 hours. By the way, folks, we have a new process now. Okay, to make it easier for everyone. After you answer a few questions on the form, it will redirect you to basically our newsletter. So you sign up for the newsletter. It's really your benefit so you can learn more about us. You sign up for the newsletter, then you will receive a first email. We'll have about, I think you'll get it like instantaneously. The first email will have a link for you to schedule an appointment with our CARES team specialist. Because I realize I got feedback from my team. They say they call people, no one picks up, maybe because you're at the grocery store, you're busy, you're at your kid's school, you're at work. So to make it easier for everyone, we figured, okay, you just schedule yourself essentially. Okay, but you answer a few questions in our form and then you schedule yourself in. And that way we can our team members can share information with you just real time. It's going to be a lot easier for everyone. So I hope everyone appreciates this. This is different than many law firms. Okay, we love to share, drop knowledge, and this is one of the best ways to do that. Now to the question. Your VAWA case has been going on for 36 months now, and what do you do? So there's a scenario 36 months, 3 years. So you want to contact us and we can figure out. I mean, typically, if your spouse was a U.S. citizen, or even if you're abused by a spouse, but if your spouse is a U.S. citizen, your case supposed to process faster. But there are some scenarios that we may have to file a lawsuit as well for that. You just sent an RFE medical for 45. Your I-130 is approved, marriage base. What should you expect next? So the thing is, that's great news because when they send an RFE for medical and they actually told you to mail it in, the results, sealed envelope. You cannot open it, by the way. Leave it sealed. If you want a copy of it, great. But ask the clinic or the doctor's office for a separate copy, okay? Because the USCIS does not want it to be tampered with. But to answer your question directly, okay, you likely should expect a decision letter. I can't say it'll be approval or not, of course. And then likely not an interview. So that's a great thing. Most likely it will be waived. But if you get interview notice and you think, oh, well, John told me this, not guarantee for you, but most likely it will be waived. Okay. Who knows? Maybe they see something in your file. They're like, okay, well, now we need an interview. Then let us know. Maybe you need more tips. All right. You said interview 45 in Fairfax, Virginia last June 2022. Still no decision, no RFE needed. What to do? Okay. Well, it's been more than a year. So, a year and a half, I'd say. It's time to file a lawsuit, unfortunately. I hate to say, folks, but some of your cases, I don't want to say lost, but I've had back in the day when we were allowed to email directly in to the field office with USCIS, the location where you would have the interview. I remember the one in Dallas said, like, after we submit the inquiry, and even when we submit inquiry, we still have to wait a certain amount of time, let's say like 6 months or something ridiculous. I literally got an email that said, or I got an email that literally said, your client's file, I'm sorry. Basically, they apologized. They actually apologized, but they said, your client's file was stuck in another person's file with the same name, same date of birth, and same country of nationality. Tell me if that's bullshit, okay? Do you think that's bullshit? Come on. How's everything the same, but it's a different person? So, in my opinion, that meant to me, reading between the lines, they lost my client's file for a long time, but they somehow find it again. All right. So that's kind of giving you an idea of the kind of BS that's going on with USCIS still to this day, because that email was like 6+ years ago. Okay. I should save it. I need to go find it and take out my client's information and share with y'all. Then you can believe me. It was bizarre. Okay. Chep on TikTok. Is it possible to remove conditions on green card after divorce? Oh, yeah, certainly. So they call it waiver essentially. So when you check mark, I think on the first or second page, to say like what type of remove condition application you're filing. And the hot tip here for you, you don't need to actually have the divorce order. Yes, that would be great. That's what's on their own instruction checklist. But if anything, at least file the provide a copy of the petition. In Texas, we call it petition. Maybe a different state calls it like a complaint or something to start that divorce case. But you need to file something. Uh, at the very least, the application. You might get it. You likely will get an RFE for the divorce order. I mean, I know you will. You just need to tell them something. You need to give some kind of proof. Your OPT expires early Feb next year, 2024. When should you avoid international travel? Well, I don't know what you mean by that. When you should avoid international travel, because I think you mean when you leave the United States. That's tough because yeah, if you don't have the STEM OPT, then yeah, you gotta go back to your country or just leave the United States. And hopefully your company that's you're working with right now with OPT will sponsor you for H1B. Okay, registration first 2 weeks. Can't miss it. You miss it, then you're gonna be SOL. Okay. Hopefully that answers your question. You got a medical RFE you said in June. Several of y'all filed in June or did something in June. And you were still waiting for an answer. How long is the wait? Unfortunately, Devi, there is no black and white timing. A lot of y'all have sent in the medical results in a sealed envelope. Wonderful. I'm glad you had that opportunity. But I think just our standpoint is when to consider filing a lawsuit is a 6-month mark uh, after the interview. But you haven't had the interview. So in for your situation, when you send a medical, it's more about the timing after you file the case. So typically, if you sent in the medical exam with RFE, because of RFE, then you likely have not even waited a year. So I would say it's too early to file a lawsuit. Okay, because usually AOS marriage cases you file a lawsuit after minimum 16 months, right? So if you likely haven't had that situation yet or been waiting that long. Okay, I'm gonna switch over to YouTube real quick. Hey, what's up? What's up, Tony? Good to see you. Welcome, welcome. From the Bay, Janelle, good afternoon. Your 45 keeps being transferred is almost 8 months. So 8 months is not unreasonable timing yet. to file a lawsuit. 12 months on average. I know in some other parts of the country, some of y'all have been waiting like 20 plus months. Then that's when we should definitely talk about it. Jay, 601A waiver approved. Congratulations to you, Jay. Your question is, you have withholding removal as a refugee from Guyana. Can you go back to Guyana for interview for your visa? Ooh, that's a tough one. I'm pretty sure how it works is that you're gonna lose withholding, right? Because the whole point of you being in the U.S. with withholding of removal from through the court system, um, so that you don't go back to Guyana. So yeah, that's a tough one. And then when you file, yeah, and then if you don't continue the process after 601A being approved, there's like a 1 year rule essentially. So to reactivate your visa essentially. I mean, even though you don't get the visa, it's like hypothetical. It's a little difficult to explain how the government does this, but essentially after 1 year, if there's no activity in your case with NVC, they're going to make it. They're going to change status to inactive, and then you gotta start the whole process again. So yeah, it's a tough one. Happy to talk more about it. Okay, Jay. Um, but we don't handle asylum or withholding, which I mean, so we don't have as much advice in general offhand, but we can research for you. Okay, it just depends on you if you think you're going to fear going back to your country of nationality for the interview. It's really essential up to you. But yeah, you would lose the withholding removal status. Okay, two more questions on YouTube. Then I'll switch back over to TikTok. Lucas, what's up? Beantown. Don't ask me how I remember stuff like this. The interview notice for marriage based, and they ask for tax returns for the do they ask for beneficiary? No, they don't. But if you're a marriage case, then technically it's together, right? I mean, unless your case has been approved, I mean, interviewed so quickly, like if you filed earlier this year, then of course you haven't filed tax returns together. But if you've been married, let's say like in 2022, or then yeah, it just depends on timing. Yeah, but if you have a tax return together or during the time that you were married, the expectation is that it would have been joint anyway. But in general, if for some reason you file it separately, um, then yeah, you don't have to bring it, but maybe it's the best recommendation to bring it, especially as just in general evidence that you live together, like just extra evidence just in case. Okay. I would just bring the last year tax return. So if anything, it would show the same address, right? Just trying to think of multiple scenarios for you, Lucas. You have a business with your dad. You're bringing the paperwork of the company and tax return. Um, no, unless your dad's like a co-sponsor, joint sponsor or something. Otherwise, your dad shouldn't have to bring the tax returns. So, but yeah, I don't know how you filed the 864. So I don't know. I mean, it kind of seems like it may be, but yeah, it's really just personal tax return, like 1040. I don't, just me speaking, like, I don't like sharing too much information with the government, right? So something like this, I mean, you could bring it just in case. It just depends how you're taxed that you tax yourself, right? Some people have K1. I just don't recommend it. Like if you know you're going to sponsor someone, then especially a spouse or family member, I really recommend a W-2. It just makes it easier for USCIS. I mean, of course, for Lucas, it's too late. You're about to have the interview in January, but for other folks who can think, you have time to think about it, then because some of y'all do 1099 only, and that's just problematic. I just think, but tax wise, but yeah, I think it's just peace of mind. You want an accountant that can recommend W-2. Okay, so hopefully that works out for you on that one. Let's see what else. Okay, back to TikTok. What's up, my man? Jim Hacking is here on the show. What's up? Welcome. I know he's a very busy guy. Hey folks, if y'all don't like me for some reason, please consider Hacking Law Firm. Okay, he is a great, wonderful man. He's mentors a lot of people and does great for immigrants around the world as well. Let's see here. But yeah, check out his channel too. RS Martin, do you think EB3 visa bullets will continue forward to next month? So, w- should they? Hell yeah, they should. But realistically, I mean, yeah, it retrogress. So I'm not sure. I know some people do like YouTube videos on that. I don't know how they can predict it's going to move forward or not. I don't have that bandwidth to do research on it, to be honest. Like it is what it is. If it shows up, it shows up. I certainly hope um, it can progress. I mean, you would think so because we're several months apart from the fiscal year that's changed, but I'm not sure about all that math. I don't have that calculation, so I'm sorry I can't answer that for you directly. All right. Rich Vieta, can your N400 application be denied if you own state tax, but you have a payment plan more than 120 days? So yeah, if you have a payment plan, um, yeah, pretty sure the instructions are about federal or state tax if you owe any of it. So yeah, if you have payment plan, um, if you haven't filed already, I would just provide it as part of your application. You could do it online, upload it online. Otherwise, you mail it in, provide a copy of the payment plan agreement. All right, because just in general, the more you share in advance, the better. Okay, so there's no questions asked. Like, well, they could still obviously ask you questions, but less likely to have issues so you don't throw off the officer at the interview. Okay. Have we helped DACA recipients pursue employment visas? Yes, we have. But the key thing you need to know is the timing that you got DACA. Okay. You still need to consular process. If you don't meet the exception to be able to obtain residency adjustment status, which is the last step in employment based, right? Or in general, if you have not maintained status, then you have to consular process, meaning have the visa interview abroad. Um, there's two complex legal issues: failure to maintain status and unlawful presence. So having DACA or TPS stops unlawful presence, or even having filed asylum stops unlawful presence. You're able to work, but that's technically not lawful status. Okay, that USCIS is looking for. Okay. There's many other exceptions that we can talk about in a different show or a recorded video, but yes, in general. Okay. Mariella, what's up? Your husband, a U.S. citizen, has been unemployed since last week. Sorry to hear that. Yeah, a lot of people are getting laid off. This is crazy. This past month, um, I, my wife's company laid off some people like the week before Thanksgiving. I feel so bad for them, her coworkers. It's ridiculous. Totally nuts. And they're a huge company. Like they couldn't wait until like after Thanksgiving. I think that's nuts. But the announcement, this whole thing, right? Like some CEOs don't know how to announce a layoff or something. They did it much better than anything you've probably seen on all the viral videos about that. Mary Ella, but for you, can you still process I-130? Yes. But the part, hopefully, but yes, and he still has to file and sign the 864 form, affidavit of support. You want to tell the truth, right? Like there's a question about unemployed, then you have to check mark it correctly, right? You don't want to not tell the truth on accident. You don't well, let me phrase it a different way. You don't want to lie, but sometimes people think, oh, like we just put this. Like you don't want to do white lies, okay? Even if you think it's like innocent. But and not saying that you would or he would, but you're gonna get RFE, okay, request for evidence, and maybe in your own letter to USCS package, you put in like, you know, your husband signs it or something and says like, yeah, I'm looking for a job, okay, so they know they're being proactive, then they can ask for RFE. Because I've heard of one time a lawyer, unfortunately, did not provide the 864 form at all, and the case was denied. So But I think typically, if someone forgot to fill out that or provide that format completely, they would send an R fee. But that one time, I mean, another that person hired us because obviously they lost trust with the other law firm. But you just need to, Mariella, just have your husband sign it, even if it's unemployed. At least sign it so they don't deny it outright, because that would suck. We had to file a 290B motion reconsider application. And just we don't want you to have to waste any fees on that. Okay, average cost to attorney cost to file VAWA. Um, I can't share that on TikTok at least because one time I shared fees and it just I'm transparent, open book. In fact, maybe sometime next year our team's gonna just be transparent about fees in general on our website. We're trying to work with our leadership team on that. Um, but just call us, give us a call. I mean, I think we charge reasonably. We in general, folks, we offer we offer three different plans: light, pro, and max. There's some differences, right, in our benefits, but we realize some people don't want all the benefits of like having an attorney represent them at the interview or respond to notice of intent to deny. In fact, most of our cases don't result in having a notice of intent to deny because we have a diligent process before we actually mail the application. Now, some clients are like, John, that's all I got, or Ariana or Jessica or Margot, that's all I got, right? Let's chat with our team members, and we're like, well, we really need ABC document, but we'll mail it in now. So that's why we have responded to our fee on the pro plan, the max plan, and also respond to NOID, notice of intent to deny, on our max plan. Okay, so hopefully that gives you an idea. So obviously, more benefits, more services is the max plan, the maximum service. We charge more for it. So, but we try to accommodate everyone's budget. So that's why we have light, pro, or max. Okay, and by the way, with max plan, we file your case in 30 days within the time. Let's say you authorize us to help you file your case, December. Let's say for simplicity, December 1st. Then we'll file your case by December 31st. Okay, which are we give our team more days off in December, so we have less days technically. uh, Tony says, "Remember, happy wife, happy life." Tony, thanks for man. I need to pay you, bro. You're keeping me on track here. Thank you. Okay, so yeah, because Tony knows I love to share information. So, okay, I'm gonna answer two more questions. Next one here. What is your consultation fee? So we actually offer a strategy session or consult for no cost. Okay. But not everyone's qualified because because how social media works, we do get a lot of inquiries. We really appreciate everyone's trust. Okay. Um, but here's the thing, you need to answer a few questions on the form. Yes, you're welcome to call in, but really to make it easier for now, answer a few questions on our website, greencardguys.com. Go to contact us page, and then go to I think you click on the first box, or what is it? Yeah, verify or qualify for consultation. I don't even know myself. See it almost every day. But yeah, qualify for a consultation, and then answer a few questions, and they'll take you to a new page of adding your email to our newsletter. You have to do that so that you understand more about our team, because I imagine you talk to so many lawyers, so many law firms, and you're like, well, they all sound the same. When you receive our information, put your email in there. You're welcome to subscribe at any time, but the first email, you're going to receive a link to schedule a meeting, a pre-qualification meeting with our CARES team specialist. They are not lawyers, but it's the first step before meeting with the attorneys. Okay, and hopefully that helps. In fact, on YouTube at least, I can show you how that looks. I think that's this one right here. Okay, while that's showing, I can answer some questions on TikTok. Okay, so you click that form, go there. Oh, that was weird. Did it continue playing? I thought it would just end. That's a long one, 38 seconds. All right. So anyway, y'all get the point on Facebook and YouTube. Thanks for bearing with me on that one. But yeah, that's the visa bulletin process. Unfortunately, you got to wait for the process on that. There is a huge wait time on that one. Hi, John. Thank you, Annie. Thanks for your team. Reach out to me. Okay, I'm glad you're able to speak with our team members on that. Hopefully, we're able to help you out. I don't do a great job, to be honest, to keep track of every person that calls us. I try my best, but thank you so much for speaking with our team. Which, by the way, folks, if you had experience speaking with our one of our cares team specialists or even one of our attorneys, please do this. You're welcome to, or we invite you to share your feedback and share your experience. And please go to reviewtinglaw.com. We greatly appreciate it. Okay, thank you so much. Um, Luis, okay, fine. Last question. Luis, great law firm. Thank you, Annie. Really appreciate it. Luis says, how do you give parents the 245I without joining the military? So yeah, they're two separate benefits there, or pathways, I guess you could say, without having to leave your parent doesn't have to leave the United States. One is 245I. You have to have a They have to have a petition that, oh, I did not fart, that's my chair. You have to have a petition filed on behalf of them. Maybe it's your aunt or uncle filed for them, so brother, sibling category. But that had to have been done before April 30th, 2001. That's one of the requirements. Now, the second option is, of course, military parole in place, but that, of course, has to have a family member, a close nucleus family member, have joined the military. And you are a U.S. citizen at the moment. So, yeah, contact us. We're happy to chat it with you or your family, your parents, to see if there's a pathway in general. But yeah, for you to file a petition for your parents, you need to be a U.S. citizen. So hopefully you're reaching that time soon to be eligible to apply for N400. Good luck to you, sir. All right, folks, we greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. As Tony mentioned, I got to hop off and get to help out my wife. So, and then have a team meeting. So thank you so much. If you have any questions, I should be going live tomorrow, reserving from tomorrow, or if you would like to see if you qualify for a meeting with one of our attorneys, please go up here on TikTok or down below to follow, and we'll talk to you soon, okay? Wish you all the best. Have a wonderful afternoon.